Okay, we got another question. Drupal powers 11% of the top 100,000 websites and is a staple in government and higher education. Open source CMS platform with job developers start at around $50 an hour. What led me to choose content management systems as my profession? And then how do I think AI will affect its growth? Yes, it is true. Drupal powers a lot of websites for government and university. Stanford University, University of Texas, Yale, Howard. The list goes on. I could name them all of that. Different state governments, state of Iowa, state of Georgia. List goes on. All of these people and places that I'm talking about, these aren't one website. So I'm not saying that in higher education, Drupal powers one website. At Stanford, there's 7 schools. I'm in one school. I manage 130 something websites, and that's not all of the websites in our school. So the School of Engineering, the School of Law, Graduate School of Business, School of Sustainability, the medical school, all of these other schools have probably 100 plus websites themselves. And each one of those websites sometimes have a person whose job responsibility is for that, for managing and adding content and information to that site. So same thing at state government level, Department of Transportation, the Department of Education. The list goes on of all the different departments that a state would have. Those all need their own website. And then some of those departments have sections where different people work on different sections of the website. And that's adding content to the site. So we're just talking about after the website is developed, people are adding content to these sites, and that's jobs. Plus, you have the people who develop the sites who can add things to the sites from a development, add new features, add new functionality. And then you have people who like developed and created these platforms that allows people to use Drupal. Uh, then you have the hosting companies, you have design firms. These are all different branches of the ecosystem that come together around Drupal, from developers, designers, content editors, site builders that can use and configure Drupal to do certain things, and then community contributors, people who are creating modules and adding and fixing things in Drupal core and contributing back to the community. These are all part of the Drupal community. And there's plenty of opportunity in that because universities and government, I don't know if there's a solution out there just yet. Nonprofits, there's a lot of places where I don't know if there's another solution out there that could take the place of the website and the way websites are created, especially the way Drupal can power some of these websites. I haven't seen it at the price point that it does. I don't see it being something that's going away very soon. I think there's a ton of opportunity in it. Drupal itself and content management systems are. I want to go back to the question: what led me to choosing my focus as the content management system? So, back in 2006 or seven, or starting in 2000, I had a website in high school, headrecords.com. It's my friends in the locker room. It was pictures at high school. Went to college. We started selling t-shirts. I had the shirts online. We were selling them out the trunk. Was going to different events. And then after college, it turned to a music deal where I had artists and we were rapping and we were creating music under the Head Records umbrella. I had a vision even from high school where I wanted to. So in high school, everything was HTML. That's the first thing I learned. I could create an index.html page, and then every other page I can have put .html at the end, and I could create another page. Index.html would be the home page, and then I can link off to other HTML pages from there. It's a very manual process. Then I learned about content management systems. The first one I learned about was WordPress. And at the time, WordPress was more for blogging. So they had 2 things you could create: a page or a post, which is still kind of like the core of WordPress, but it was limited where I only could make a page or a post. Well, because I had the music site, I wanted the ability to create like a record where I could do like a song, and the song would have certain properties like a album cover. I wanted to upload the music. I wanted to have it, tag what artist was on this song, and then I wanted to be able to group this song into an album. What you see now on Spotify and things like that, but this was before Spotify. This was before social media, all of that. So I saw that and I wanted to do that. WordPress didn't allow me to do it. I found a site online. So I'd already was really enamored with WordPress and like, oh man, this is awesome. It's free. You can get it. You can make, you can do stuff with it. But I asked this agency, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make this site for my music company. And they came back with a quote for like $1,500 to do it in Drupal. Looking back, I don't even know if this was an agency. It could have just been a guy that had a website online. He said he could do it in Drupal. I said, what is Drupal? I looked it up. And when I looked up Drupal, I saw I could download it if I knew how to use a protocol called FTP, file transfer protocol. I could download the files and then I can move these files to my web host and then shoot, I can have a website up. So I installed it, went through some of the documentation I saw online, got it set up, and voila, what I wanted to do, I had got set up in a weekend. So from that day forth, I said, hey, this Drupal thing looks really cool and I need to get in on this. I need to be working somewhere where I can grow my skill set in the web. I need to be working web professionally because by this time I had been doing websites on the side and trying to like figure it out. I knew nobody who made them. I didn't know any companies. It was like 2006. Now, working in the web has been my goal, my career goal since high school. So at this particular point, I'm trying to figure it out. I come across Drupal, and a couple months later, you know what? I said, you know what? I have to do it. I left the job I was working at. It was a little process, but what I did is I just dove into Drupal. The information was available online. It's open source. It's free. I could download Drupal. I can download different modules. I can look at the source code. I can tweak it. I can change it, try to mess around with it. So I spent countless hours building up that skill set and really just saying, I'm going to double down in content management systems. I saw that they were working with Sony Music at the time. I saw universities. So there was a piece of it, like there was also a growing community of like people's name that I could see that tied back to the code where I said, you know what? Drupal seems very cool to me. And I doubled down on it. And so I went and looked. At the time, there wasn't a lot of Drupal specific web agencies either. But in Houston, and remote work wasn't the same. So I looked for content management systems. And so I thought I hit. I found one. It's the job description said, have you used at the time? I think Adobe, Dreamweaver, Fireworks, Photoshop, FTP, content management system. All right, I said, hey, that's all I look down. That's everything. That's everything in my computer bar. That's everything that's up. That's all everything they said. I got them programs up. I'm in that every day. That's me. So I just knew that was it. Bam. Interview. Oh yeah, it's going down. This is the place. They had their own proprietary content management system. Went on the interview. Long story short, it didn't work out. I said, man, this is it, man. I couldn't find what's happening. I just stayed down though. And like the next one I found was a company called Shipple. Shipple, the web marketing company. It really had the exact same things listed. But when I went to interview, they were at a little bigger space. So the first place I went, they had like a home office. It was set up, it was cool. But at Shipple, they had a big office off I-10, floors up, couple, had to take the elevator up to the job. And they did content management systems. They had a proprietary system called Tendency. You could look it up now to today. And they really focused on association software. It was proprietary. They had a certain meaning. You can't download it. It's the opposite of open source. It was built in like classic ASP. So the framework and the framework that it was built, the technology it was built on was a little bit dated at the time. And then also what happened is the open source, the HTML, CSS, that type of work and the open source work got accelerated very quickly as well, and that became like the go-to norm with websites, those type of content management systems. And so, but at Shipple, we had Tendency, which kind of still brought up more content management system, but in a structured product type way, where this was a product. You get websites, you pay like $200 a month. You have a certain set of tools and tech, a certain set of modules, photo gallery, users, membership, news. Forgot all of them, but I can look it up. But all of that Tendency, and that was like a training ground, man. Like that allowed me to really understand content management systems from a product level. And then I also eventually brought Drupal. We start selling Drupal at Shipple. We start selling WordPress websites at Shipple as well. So we brought that skill set and was able to provide value there. We shot this Drupal rap video, and then we just kept building. But that also led me to work at a company. So a company called Lullabot. It's one of the bigger Drupal agencies right now, one of the longest standing ones as well. But at the time, they really focused on training companies on how to use Drupal. And then, they eventually became an agency, but they used to have these DVDs. I would watch the DVDs. I would be at home, lights off with the DVDs, like I'm watching football film. You know what I mean? Like that's like I really approach this stuff like the game, bro. Like I never played about it. Like I always kept a computer. I always was trying to have side hustles, making websites. And then when I went to work, I want to be on my training. I watch film. I really wanted to get to it. And that has led to good things, whether that's working at the University of Texas, whether that's working for the Memphis Grizzlies, whether, both of these places had content management systems using Drupal. And specifically, they were using Drupal as a way like a product. So kind of the work at Shipple has prepared me and kind of leveraged to where I'm at now. So at University of Texas, that was utexas.edu. But then the Memphis Grizzlies, the NBA had a platform with the Drupal, and then every team had their own site and could, customize it and do certain things there. So that I leveraged that, and then worked at an agency where I was working on a platform for American Booksellers Association, which is like a platform for any independent bookstore. I rebuilt their new platform, and then that's where we got this award right here for Web Ops. And then I did work with the state of Iowa. And then now at Stanford, I was prepared for our product because that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Content management systems, especially with product platform style. Some people in Drupal, it's called like a multi-site or single code base. But basically, we have a set of tools leveraging the content management system where we can, in a sense, quickly create a website that's in a content management system that's tailored specifically for a specific use case. So in this case at Stanford, it's tailored for university departments and units. And that's what we do. So with that being said, I know I talked a tangent, but going back to the question is what led to me choosing to focus on CMS. Like I said, I saw the opportunity. I knew where the World Wide Web was going. And really just each step led me to that, right? Like I found out about HTML in high school. When I found out about WordPress, I wanted to take it a little bit further. So I was very curious. Oh, Drupal can do more. Oh, I can learn it. It's there available for me to get. Let me take advantage of that opportunity, learn more about Drupal. And then, got at a company that kind of fostered that. So at Shipple, it's like my own self incubator, my own self like development place where it was other people learning about the web, or other people learning about content management systems. We had customers. We could, we really built that skill set there. Then led me to other opportunities, like I said, with UT, with the NBA, and now with Stanford. And then how do I think AI will affect growth? I think AI, I do not think it's going to replace the web, at least not yet. And I think it's actually going to be could be a booster to the web, and definitely like a platform where the web will serve as a major place to integrate AI, or be a place of AI integration. Like AI to me is more like fuel. It's more like something that pushes stuff. So I don't think it'll replace the web, but I think it's places where like it makes developing some websites faster. It makes some aspects similar to the content management system sped up the process of where now I don't have to make individual HTML pages. I can use the content management system. So now websites can be more robust and more dynamic. And so then the next step is like, okay, now that we have content management system and we're adding in AI, what extra layer does that add to what we do? Or how do we reimagine the way we're using the web? So I think there's a lot of places where like even now I'm using AI a lot to where there's migrations, whether it's like formatting data. Now it's like AI is, between AI and automation or doing things where it's like something is a repeated process and I can now automate it. I think both of those things will serve more as fuel to the growth. So I don't think websites are going away, but I do think that it could be a way to reimagine how we access the web and what the capabilities of websites are. So I'm definitely interested in continue to build and want to be an innovator to figure out what's next and what we can do. So hopefully that answered the question, and I will wait to the next one.